Thank you very much for the question. But first and foremost, let me thank the organizers of the conference for inviting me. I want to thank ISPI, Bocconi University, and the OECD for giving me the opportunity to be with you today. Indeed, the war of aggression by Russia against Ukraine has been defining moment for 2022. It has had a devastating impact on the people of Ukraine in terms of massive human rights violations amounting to war crimes. It has, in many ways, also triggered an international response, which for Amnesty International is a model in terms of what we would expect the international community to do when confronted by such a crisis. That response has been characterized by resolutions at the General Assembly, repeated resolution. It has been characterized by denunciation, very public denunciation of the act of aggression. It has been characterized by a strong focus on fighting for justice and against impunity. And that has meant that a number of countries have provided Ukraine with technical assistance for investigation. And of course, the response has also been characterized by the International Criminal Court very quickly beginning an investigation officially into the war crimes committed by Russia. So that response is a model for the way the international community should respond to crisis. Sadly, though, in 2022, the international community has not used that blueprint for the other crises the world was confronting. That include the crisis in Ethiopia, which for many experts is probably the deadliest conflict in decades around the world, in decades. We haven't seen any strong reaction to the situation in Palestine, the occupied territories, and there too, 2022 was an absolute terrible year, particularly for people in the West Bank, because this was the deadliest year for the Palestinians, characterized by around 150 deaths, including children. In 2022, as well, as you have mentioned, the Taliban has increased its war against women and girls of Afghanistan and against freedom more generally. In 2022, the situation in Haiti triggered massive displacement of refugees outside Haiti because it was so awful and deadly. I'm not mentioning and talking about the situation in Venezuela, the situation in Yemen, the situation in Mali. None of those crises have received the same degree of attention than Ukraine.